Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, we're going to get to talk about the state of North Carolina, and we've been circling in on the state of North Carolina ever since about March of last year. We'll explain in a moment, but as you know, there is a big showdown to make North Carolina the 30th and probably the last constitutional carry state, barring some type of massive piece of federal legislation. But we think things are going to get a little spicy out there, and actually it's going to come down to pretty simple math and may come up just this short. So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about constitutional carry's last stand in North Carolina. Okay, this video is about North Carolina, but there's a lot that can be learned here all throughout the United States. First of all, it's a very important topic, constitutional carry. Why is it so important? Well, other than the obvious, which it's the constitutional standard. Number two is we already have 29 states that have moved to constitutional carry, and what you're not seeing in the media is data and stories about how those states are just completely all hell's breaking loose due to constitutional carry. And we know if there was some disparate numbers between constitutional carry states and those that weren't, the media would be beating that drum all day, all night. So the fact that we're not hearing these stories, and in fact, when you take a look at the data is actually moving in the correct direction, it goes to, again, break their narrative. So that's why it's a very, very important issue. It's a very important issue to the folks in North Carolina. Now, I get that Senate Bill 50, which is what we're talking about today. I get it, North Carolina. It's not a clean constitutional carry bill. We even did a video about it right here. I said, yep, it's not perfect. It's a long way from perfect, but is it better than nothing? Well, it's better than nothing, okay? Now, way back in March 5th of 2024, last year, we did this video right here where we had said, hey, listen, if you do the math and you kind of take a look at the politics, we are at 29 constitutional carry states, and there's really only one currently politically that has an actual chance of making this happen, and it's North Carolina. Well, North Carolina is this close to doing it because Senate Bill 50 has passed both out of the Senate and out of the House and now heads to the governor's desk. Now, here's the first problem. It passed out of the House of Representatives by a vote of 59 to 48. And if you live in North Carolina or you're such a political geek, you actually understand the legislative breakdown in that state, you know that, well, the Republicans actually have a much larger than 11 vote advantage in the House of Representatives. Yes, they do. But two of the Republicans decided that they were going to vote against the bill. Remember that. And then 10 of them, I don't know, came down with the flu, maybe there was some food poisoning, or whatever, because they literally sat out. There were 10 Republicans who were absent for the vote, okay? And so despite the fact that you had a dozen Republicans either sit it out or defect, it still passed by 11 votes. Okay, now it's heading to the governor's desk. That's Governor Josh Stein, a Democrat who has openly stated on multiple occasions that he is going to veto it. And is there any reason to doubt him? No, there's no reason to doubt him at all. This will be the first veto that he will have as governor, and whether it turns out to be his last or not, well, that remains to be seen. But then, of course, that begs the question, well, if he does veto it, can the veto be overridden? Well, of course, if you paid attention, North Carolina, during your high school civics class, you will remember under your state constitution that, yes, a veto can be overridden, but it requires a 3/5 vote out of the Senate and a 3/5 vote out of the House. Do you have the math to do it? Well, this is where it gets really interesting, because the answer is in the Senate, yes, you do. Okay, you're halfway to overriding the veto. But then in the House, even if you could get the 10 that decided to sit on the sideline to get back in the game and vote to override the veto, all right, and get the 2 who voted against the bill to magically get them to vote to override the veto of the bill that they didn't want passed anyways, but if you could get all 12 of them on board, guess what? You come up 1 vote short. 1 vote short, and I did not see on the roll call any Democrat that had voted for this, so I don't believe there was a defector. So, if everything went as well as the Republicans in the state of North Carolina could hope for, they will come up 1 vote short in the House of overriding the veto, and Senate Bill 50 will die by gubernatorial veto. And depending on the political shifting of the winds in the state of North Carolina, America, this may have become constitutional carry's last stand. Because when you take a look at the other 20 states that are left remaining beyond North Carolina, most of them, there's not a snowball's chance in hell that they will ever pass constitutional carry. And so barring some type of significant federal legislation, fat chance that that's going to happen anytime in the near future, then this really could be it, America, as far as it goes for constitutional carry. But here's the bigger lesson that I need all of you to take from this, whether you're in North Carolina or any other state, is that we so routinely worry that our Second Amendment rights are going to be taken from us from the top down, that the almighty federal government and the ATF and the Department of Justice and all their resources are what's going to take our Second Amendment rights. And certainly there has been numerous administrations where that was the agenda. But if you talk to people who live in civilian disarmament states, if you talk to the people who've already had it done to them, they will tell you that their rights were not taken from the top down, they were taken from the bottom up. It is in your local elections and who you put into your state legislature, and sometimes even who you put on your city councils and things such as that, that can make all the difference in the world as to how much encroachment can actually occur on your Second Amendment rights. And case in point, what's going to happen here in North Carolina is the ability to override the governor's veto, the ability to pass Senate Bill 50, and the ability to turn North Carolina into the 30th and probably last constitutional carry state is going to fail because the GOP lost one local election. Okay, it's Senate Bill 50 out there in North Carolina. We're going to link it up down below so you can track it for yourself. Don't have to take our word for it. If you got any questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now. But if you don't, that's okay. That information down there in the description box. If you got an idea for a video we should be doing around here, you click on that link right there and you tell us all about it. If you want to subscribe to the monthly newsletter, the ability to do that is down there in the description box. And then finally, and most importantly, let's everyone remember that part of being a lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.